everybody. We've sort of been chatting already. This is Jeannie, as we all know. And I'm going to basically turn it over to her because she has a lot to say and can say it way better than I can. So we're here to hear from her. So welcome, Jeannie. Thank you for doing this.
I'm so happy.
I'm excited because I think it's going to be very informative. I love it.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me, Eleanor. I'm so happy that you all came. Thanks. And just sit back and relax. I'm going to take us through. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you. So let me share the screen and we'll see, share the sound. Sure. And to bear with me here, you have to show things that's not really very fancy where you can't see the intro, but here we go. So welcome. Can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I'll watch the chat box. You're welcome to keep your mics open unless we start getting a lot of sound, then just mute yourself. I'm looking over here because your pictures are over here. Well, so yes, I'm Jeannie. I'm Dr. Jeannie Arunimā, aka Jeannie. And today I'm going to entitle our gathering, The Empowering Your Wellbeing. So I want to give to you these practices that I've discovered over I'm going to date myself now, at least 42 years of adult practice. But when Eleanor first invited me to the book club, I was thrilled. And I've been thinking about you ladies, and I was pondering, like, what can I say? I mean, clearly, like, y'all, that's what we say down here, y'all are really accomplished women already. You've lived the life, you've learned the things, maybe you've raised kids, you've had families, you've done work. What in the world can I tell you? So I went into my own life, my own source, and my own healing. I thought, what has really been the most bang for the buck? You know, what has been the most powerful couple of practices that I've learned to be able to really create my own well-being? And so I'm going to take you there. So the first thing, oops, I have to click down here. I need my technical assistant. So in our time together, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a very short bit about who I am and what my mission of well-being is all about. And I'm going to call this inner self-care. Why is inner self-care so critical and so important? And then not only will I tell you about the 2 steps. Hang on, here comes Lauren. Welcome. So not only am I going to tell you about the 2 steps, we're going to do them. We're going to practice. So I hope that you play with me, enjoy yourself, and just be ready because you're going to love it. The healing relaxation will come toward the end. And then I've got a gift for everyone. Actually, there's 2 gifts. And I will take questions and answers. We can chat afterward. And I'm happy to stay later if anyone wants to ask me anything. So that's what it's going to look like together. So can I have a thumbs up how are you doing out there? Sound good? Okay, great. And welcome to who came in. Thanks for that. Thank you. Hi there. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
We were all discussing the snowstorms, so you came just in time.
Okay.
So a little bit about who is this person here? Actually, I've always been a little bit different. I didn't know this word, but I was born as a natural empath, sensitive, like I really could sense other people and energy, emotions. I was bent on spiritual life. I was searching for the path home, the path to God, or however you call that. And so in my life, I have become a healer, a mentor, and a meditation guide. And I also happen to have a beautiful little doggo, and that's Gracie Rose, who's over here, parked over here. So if you hear any snoring, it's just the dog. And I have 2 beautiful daughters. So when I was young, I was called through an amazing experience, literally inside called to go study with a Japanese master of healing. And I ended up becoming a doctor of Oriental medicine, where I practiced for 22 years, helping people with their health. And during that time, my spiritual searching led me to India, motherland of spiritual growth. And I learned all about meditation. And I had the great fortune of studying with a modern day guru saint type woman who was just incredible master of meditator. So I had a really wonderful teaching on both counts. So that's a little bit about me and where I've come from. I won't give you my list of alphabet soup at the end of my name. I could tell you all about it. But what's most important and applies to us today is the mission of well-being. And really, I think of this as a mission because I'm impassioned to help women with their well-being. One of the things I did after Oriental medicine is I had my babies and I took time to go home, be a stay-at-home mom, cook, all the things. And then I followed my kids into school, into education, where I became a teacher and then a trainer, a literacy expert, and then a mentor. And so education has been really important. So I came out of this and wanted to do both helping people develop their well-being and healing. So this is why I have this lofty goal. I've always wanted to have a way to have a little magic wand and just end suffering. Like, this world is crazy. And so by helping people to wake up to who we really are, our power, our source, our self, it helps all of us. And I have this saying in my healing practice. I say, little by little, a little becomes a lot. So when we heal ourselves little by little, we're actually helping heal everybody around us. And by healing, I mean uplifting ourselves, having strength of body and health and mental effervescence and feeling great inside, heart, emotion, spirit. So it's a whole wellness package of body, mind, heart, and spirit. So that's the lofty mission. Well-being for the world. Can I have a hoorah, ladies? Hoorah. So just a quick slide about Golden Life Healing. That's the name of my business, is Golden Life Healing. I have a 3-part system. So I have the ancient Japanese healing therapies that I learned, and I mentor clients for energetic well-being, helping women discover their gifts and empower their well-being through energy and ancient practices. And the third one is sacred connection, sacred interconnection, which is, to me, going inside. And however you define it, it's not religious, it's yourself. It's our natural source of being within ourself. And however you define it for yourself, that's great. So this is just a little background on who I am, what I'm doing. So that's a lot of talking. So now I want to invite you to participate in a mindful breath. So before I do this, can I see a show of hands? Has anyone ever encountered or done mindfulness or meditation? Can you show me? Hello? There's 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay, I'm not preaching to the choir. Sometimes I have to think about, how shall I speak about these things? Because the word meditation can scare people away if they've had certain upbringing, and it's really not, how do I want to say it? A religious term. It's really about a natural state of being. So you all seem to have had some experience. So let's just stop for a second. Whatever you're doing, just hold your tea. You can keep chewing if you need. And get grounded. Feel yourself sitting on the seat. Here comes the snoring to accompany us. And what I want you to do, I invite you to close your eyes just for a moment and take a nice long inhalation and breathe it all out. Oh. And try it again this time. Breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, blowing like you're blowing a bubble. And now put your hands on your knees, just palms down, just gently resting, and feel your feet underneath you. And we're going to take one more breath. And this time, when we breathe all the way to the top, I'm going to ask you just to hold it for a second, just suspend it. And when you suspend that breath, gather up any kind of stress or tension or busy brain from the day. And then on the exhale, blow it out. Are you ready? Here we go. We're going to take a nice long inhalation and hold it at the top, gathering up all the stuff and let it go, let it go, let it go. Blow, 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 blow. And now shake your hands, open your eyes, and come back. Do you feel a little bit more grounded, a little more seated? See a couple smiles over there. Good. So I always love to teach people about the breath because we never realize how powerful our own breath can be. In one moment, we can change our feeling, we can settle in. So this is our topic. What is inner self-care? Now, we all know about self-care. What are some of the things you do for self-care? Start thinking about it. Like maybe for self-care, oftentimes the spa comes to mind, right? And this is why I've chosen pink and flowers for our PowerPoint. I wanted to get you in the mood for the spa. So what is the inner self-care all about? And the most important thing I can say to you, it's all about honoring your own inner needs. Because face it, as women, we tend to be hardwired to be the care providers, the carers, the givers. I mean, it's in our genetics because of the birthing of the baby, the feeding of the baby. We're kind of been hardwired in since our species started to be the carer, right? If you've had a family, raised kids, taken care of people at work, pets, it comes up quite naturally. And I'm not going to be gender biased here because there are men like that who are absolute caregivers, and there are every range of people in between who really have that identity, and many, many women who want to be not bothered by taking care of someone else. So what I'm talking about is this sense of wholeness for yourself, completeness for yourself, and honoring who you are and what it is you need to feel great. What do you need physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and taking the actions to have that happen? Because sometimes we don't tend to do that for ourselves. I'm not blaming anybody here, but sometimes if that's you, you are among a large group of people, a lot of women who put themselves at the bottom and give everybody else the top billing. So the other thing is to really learn to guard and renew your energy. It's easy to overextend. I'm the queen of do, and I go and do way too much. And so my constant life work is to remember to balance, pull back in, settle down. And here's the big one. How many of you have had to learn, or maybe you're still working on saying this little nasty word, this 2-letter word, no? Yeah, I see the smiles and the head shaking. No, saying no when you really want to, it can be a formidable, difficult situation, especially when you've learned to be a good little girl growing up, and you're a good little employee, and you want to say yes to people. It's in our natural inclination. But when we learn how to say no, we take our power back and be able to guard our well-being and honor our own needs. So this is kind of maybe preaching to the choir here. So forgive me if I am. You may have learned all of this and you can teach us how to do it and help me. But I saw firsthand what not taking care of yourself can do. I saw my mother, I saw my grandmother, and I saw them choosing not to be balanced in that. And there was repercussions. So my real message in this is to nurture our own happiness, whatever that means. That it's important too, because you know what? Self-care is not selfish. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So think about that for yourself. You know what most of my clients tell me is like, I don't have time for self-care. Like, who has time for this? What, are you crazy? I'm working, I've got a business, I'm doing this and that and this and that. I've got my family, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I live that life. And that's why, thank goodness, we have inner self-care that can take no time at all, next to none. So we're going to be looking at how to cultivate our inner self-care, because there's some things we can do that are powerful and that can happen right inside, right in between these ears, behind your eyes, wherever you are at any time. So I invite us to think about your mothers, your grandmothers, the women in your family, the women of the generations gone by. Like here in the States in the 50s, I think of the little apron and honeydew and everybody, the wife took care and the husband went out. But things are different and women have had their roles squeezed. So now we're not only doing the house and the kids, and now we're working, and now we want a side business, but now we have hobbies and we have self-expression, and the list goes on. And so there's only so much time in a day. You get what I mean, right? I totally preach into the choir. So here we have landed. We are arriving. You're ready to go. How can you empower your own well-being? You ready, ladies? My top 2 most effective strategies from my 42 years of exploring life. And these are mind your self-talk and learning how to dip into the innermost source of well-being inside. So, are you ready? Okay. Let me ask you a question, ladies. What is your inner landscape? Take stock for a minute. Maybe you've done a lot of inner work, or maybe you've had therapy or done journaling or done a spiritual practice, any number of inner practices, and you're familiar. Maybe you've never thought about it. Wherever you are in this spectrum, think about these 3 questions. How do you actually speak to yourself? What are the actual words that you speak to yourself inside your head? What's your internal dialogue all about? And if it's not even words, what kind of feelings, energetic, emotional feelings do you beam at yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who, like me, go, 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 do, do. And if things aren't going and doing quickly enough, I'm getting impatient. I got stuff to do, finish. Beth's laughing over at me. You got my number, Beth. And I get annoyed with myself. And I'm like, I start getting that, I gotta get going. I gotta do this and that. And really, how's that for a practice of pushing myself through? So reflect on yourself. And would you like to have someone else give you the same kind of inner landscape that you give yourself? Is this an area that might have some potential? Could you enhance how your inner landscape is? What if you had practice that you could embody this inner landscape of, how about peacefulness or joy or great energy? Hang on, ladies, we have someone just arrived. Welcome, welcome. You're in the right place, exactly at the right time. Welcome to you, Lisa. I'm Jeannie. We're going here. We're just talking about the inner landscape and challenging ourselves to check out what it is inside that we're dealing with all the time. How do we treat ourselves inside with our words, our feelings, our energy? What's it like in there? And if you're like most people, it's changes, right? And what do we want it to be? That is the question. So the first of two tools that we're going to play with tonight, the first tool to create your own well-being is positive self-talk. And this is interesting because positive self-talk, I'm sure you've thought about this. You probably taught other people, your children or others, like, don't say that to yourself, but think about it. When we're creating positive self-talk, there's an energy of an inner landscape that's a certain kind of feeling. It's like open and it's safe and it's creative and it allows for things, as opposed to the opposite. So we would want our inner self-talk to be as if we were speaking to a beautiful child, a pet, our loved one. How do you want to speak to someone so that, that old saying, like you can draw, how's that? Flies, you can catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So you want to bring in creativity, you want to bring in positive energy. We start by speaking well to ourselves. And first we have to be aware of what our inner landscape is and really take stock. So I challenge you through this next week, check it out and catch yourself in the act. What am I saying to myself? What kind of energy am I giving to myself? Also, if you've never heard about the word should or shouldn't, I want to tell you something. It is the most damaging word, should. To say I should or I shouldn't to ourselves puts us in a state of conflict. And so I invite you to take the word should right out of your vocabulary. So for instance, I should really practice. So I should do this, I should do that. When is it that you use this in your own language? Or you're going to go and you wanted to eat a certain thing. Oh, I shouldn't. It is detrimental. And of course, the third thing is comparisonitis, comparing yourself to others. I hope nobody here has ever had that feeling of comparing themselves to others, but I'll tell you, it's really natural, and our media sets us up to do so. So we're looking at someone else and we compare. It's just an automatic negative feeling. So these are the 3 points I wanted to talk about when you're looking at your positive inner self-talk. And I wanted to share a resource with you. And this is a man you can find online. Have you ever heard of Dr. Shad Helmstetter? I'll put it in the chat. He is amazing. He's got stuff on YouTube. Helmstetter, Stetter. If you're interested in developing positive self-talk, like we could do a whole day on this, but he's got some great resources, and he's this wonderful older gentleman, and he's really put it together. But I want to just stop and tell you that, here comes dog. Shush. We're really busy right now. Quiet. That this is the number one thing that changed the quality of my life. If you find yourself ever in a state of depression, sadness, negative feelings, check out what you're saying to yourself inside. Because we inherit a lot of the stories that we say to ourselves. They were told to us as children, and we're set up with these tapes that run. And sometimes they're so automatic, we don't even know that they're happening. And this is a kind of self-talk that's a tape going on in the background. And if you let those tapes run, and without being in charge and control of the projector, you can end up feeling really badly, because emotions follow the thoughts. So you have a thought and then there's a feeling. So this is why it's so crucial to go right to the thoughts and watch what's happening in the inner landscape. Make sense? So I talked a lot, so why don't we get busy? I'm going to invite everybody now to get out your paper and pencil, if you have one, something to write with. And we're going to do a little exercise. Let's do a transformational exercise. And this is really interesting. This comes from the work of Carl Jung and Gestalt therapy. And it came from a situation, they had what was it called? The 2 chairs or parts therapy, if you're interested. And this exercise is really powerful. My daughter's a therapist, and she uses this with her kids who are suffering from autism and social difficulties and having a hard time identifying emotions. But this is great. So, got your pencil, got your paper. Okay. We are going to identify the critical monster within. So within all of us, we have these different hats we wear or these different voices. So for instance, I can be in that critical Jeannie mode where I'm like, I got to do this. That's not good enough. Or I can be in my loving healer mode. Oh, honey, this is just right. So I know that you have different voices inside, and it's just a way to take that energy out and look at it. If you don't want to work on critical monster, you can check any of these below. You could work on the anxiety monster, anger monster, frustration monster, impatient monster, anything you want. So pick your poison, come up with the idea that we're going to work on for a minute. And I'm going to do the critical monster. And I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think of a time when you were feeling critical or the critical voice arose in your head. Are you feeling criticized? Just take yourself to that moment. You know what it feels like. It doesn't feel good. It's awful. So what I want you to do is don't get into it and feel it. I want you to just distance yourself, and that critical voice is out there. You don't have to buy into it. And in your imagination, I want you to look at it. And what does it look like? We're going to draw a little cartoon picture of our critical monster inside, or whichever one you want. Take a moment now and sketch out, what does it look like? Is it big, small, have a head? Is it just a shape? Maybe there's spikes or clouds, or what kind of face is it making? Give yourself just a couple of minutes to consider it. What would it look like on your paper? Go ahead. If you don't have paper, just imagine, what would it do? What would it look like? The colors. Maybe it's the voice of someone that comes up from the past. One of those tapes inside. Just take a minute now to finish it up. And keep your breathing going. Remember that mindful breath we took? Sink right back into your body, because you're in a really safe place and there's no one being critical of you. We're just looking back and getting it out onto the paper. And I love this picture of this little girl, because kids are like this. They see a monster. Some of them are like, oh, let's go play. Like that movie, Monsters, Inc. It's a great big old monster, and little girl just hops in his arms. It's all a matter of perspective. So go ahead and finish up. You can always come back to this later. And take your paper, put your pen down, and look at this thing. Look at this thing on the paper, and maybe the remnants of in your imagination are still waiting to come out. Just look at this. Imagine that this little monster suddenly transforms into a 3-year-old child, and its little voice is now squeaky little kid voice. Hi, I'm going to tell you that I just don't like your hair today. It's like, what are you doing with your hair? You need to do this. You need to do that. And transform this little guy. And what will you say to it. If you were the parent of this little 3-year-old monster, this loving ant, what voice of loving care would you say? I want you to come up with 3 things that you can say, and I want these things to be something you would want to be said to yourself. You'll know that you hit the nail on the head when you get a little ping like, yeah, that feels good. I want someone to talk to me like that. So go ahead, take another minute and start writing right to this little monster. Critical monster, you don't scare me. I love you. I thank you for keeping me safe. Whatever. Go ahead and write. So go ahead and take a minute now to write your last thoughts down, and we're going to go on because you can take this exercise. And I know I made it kind of cutesy, but it can be really powerful. And I'd like to invite you, if you would, to pick something that you wrote, and if you'd like to share it with us in the chat. Do you guys use the chat feature in your book club? Do you know how to do that? Eleanor, do you guys use the chat sometimes? Yeah, okay.
No, we just talk to each other because
Oh,
there's
we
only
can
7.
talk. We can
Yeah.
talk. Yeah, great.
So we don't use the chat.
Okay, thank you. That's okay. Would anybody like to open up and just say one or two of it'd be great if we could all share something. If you want to, just go ahead and open up.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Lauren.
I wrote, you don't need to worry about it. You are more than enough.
Love it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're more than enough. Don't worry about it. I love it. Anybody else?
I have 2 that I use frequently. And one of them is something I've learned through a Bible study that we've done. And the saying is to not give the enemy a seat at the table.
Mm.
And the other one is
Wait, Lisa, how would you say it what would you say to enemy or critical voice? What would you say to it?
I am not giving the enemy a seat at my table.
Yeah, like, sorry, no seat for you. Beautiful. What's the other one?
The other one is glorious God, if you are so amazing and glorious, and you love me in such an amazing and glorious way, I am good enough.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lisa. I am good enough. I am worthy. Yeah. Just speaking back to that critical voice. Oh, look what Trudy wrote. That is beautiful. You may have meant well, but what you are saying isn't true. I am whole and complete without you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Did you even consider that we can speak back to the critical voice inside? Like, I didn't even know that for decades. Like, I didn't know that. And I went and saw a therapist once after the divorce. It was very difficult. And I was really, there was a lot of critical voices in my head. And when I saw this therapist, he jumped up at one session and he took out this pretend sword and he started talking back and demonstrating that you could shout back at your critical voice. And I thought, whoa, I never thought about that. I never even thought of reframing. And it's kind of like reparenting and talking to ourselves kindly with love, because we all have the inner critic. We all have all these words at the bottom. We all have it all. We're human beings. Yeah. Anybody else would like to share?
I had a snippet of, oh, now I can't remember who wrote it. I think it's Simon and Garfunkel, actually. Slow down, you're moving too fast.
Beautiful.
So don't jump to the conclusion. Slow down, you're moving too fast. I can make the moment last. Okay, that's enough.
Perfect. Yeah. Slow down, critical voice. Slow down. Beautiful. I love it. Anybody else have one more before we go on? Keep saying these things. Like, I challenge you gals, like, see that list 1, 2, 3, put it to 30, like stick it somewhere in your fridge, like put it up somewhere, like keep writing it, keep brainstorming, and use it. You call those powers out and you tell those voices to, hey, no room at the table, and keep going, because it really will change your energy. Okay, so how are you doing, everybody? Yeah? So I think we should have a little stretch in the chair. I invite you to give a little twist, take a breath, get up. It's a lot of sitting in 1 hour. Little brain break. So here's the number 2 tool. And this is the tool that has transformed my life energetically and spiritually and health-wise, every which way, emotionally. And that is, I'm going to call it meditation, but it's all these other things. It is any way that you want to talk about going inside to the inner source. It's the connection point with our innermost being. It's that stillness. You call it alpha waves or inner state or mindfulness or contemplative absorption, deep prayerfulness. Maybe it's just simply completely relaxed, deeply, deeply relaxed. And meditation is the word that's most commonly used. In India, I learned that meditation was considered to be the stilling of the thought waves in the mind, quieting down inside. Because when we learn how to go inside to this natural inner state that we often run from, when we learn how to tap in, we can restore health and vitality, empower our creativity, and really bring out the most we have to offer to ourselves in living in this world. Meditation is just this wonderful inner state. You know how we have awake, deep sleep, dreaming? Meditation is like that deepest, deep, quiet state when we're in the deepest sleep. So when we practice in these contemplative ways, even a few minutes a day with these different practices, that whatever practice that you like, it really makes a difference in your overall well-being. And if you're like most people, you're going to really appreciate having more energy in your life. When I used to treat, I used to treat patients, and I was really exhausted because I had a chronic fatigue problem going on. The only way I could get through my medical day was to schedule myself a meditation during lunch. I would shut the office down. I laid on the treatment table and I went into this deep stillness of deep relaxation for about 15 minutes. And I tell you, it saved my whole work life. It saved me. It saved me again when I had young children at home. And even today, if I find myself really exhausted, I take a little break in the middle of the day and I just do the quick inside deep relaxation and mindful breathing. And what a restorative practice it is. So if you don't know about it, meditation has been studied by science, and it's been practiced by mystics and sages from all walks of life, religions around the world for thousands of years. So they're finally showing up with some scientific-based research, which I just love. Check out these statistics, ladies. More than half of folks use meditation for wellness and well-being, to experience anxiety relief, stress relief. It has physical, documented physiological responses that help, like the high blood pressure go down. It reduces hospitalization for heart disease, heart attacks, and insomnia. That's because it soothes the entire nervous system. It just chills us out. And it's a really wonderful practice. And you don't have to have an hour of meditation. We're talking 10 to 20 minutes a day of this state of deep relaxation is what they measured. And the gray matter of the brain actually gets denser. It grows. They did studies where they measured the brain weight of a meditator and a non-meditator of the same stature. The meditators' brains were denser and they weighed more. It's phenomenal what happens to the body because it's so restorative. And so without further ado, I want to get us ready to go into this deep relaxation. And if that wasn't enough of a scientific research, check out this from Harvard University. There was a Dr. Harvey Benson and his team. They studied the human genome, and they studied 40,000 human genomes, and they were looking to see, was there something that would happen when they got into the deep relaxation? And they coined this word, relaxation response. And this is what they found. You know, that this is crucial to healing disease and creating well-being. There's an antioxidant effect, antioxidation, which mitigates cancer. There's an anti-inflammatory effect. And as you probably know, there's so much inflammation that causes disease, so much of what we're going through. So it literally changes at the level of the human genome, 10 to 20 minutes a day. Hello, kitty cat. If only my dog saw you. So this is a wonderful thing. And if you hear crackling in the background, the dog is now chewing a bone at my feet, which I'm going to get up in a minute and move her. So let us go into a short inner spa relaxation, because I think that would feel really good and set you up for the evening to go off into a wonderful, joyful evening. And I'm going to invite you now to go ahead. You're welcome to shut off your cameras if you want. We're going to do about about 12 minutes of a guided healing relaxation. So make yourself comfortable. You can even lie down if you want to. Get comfy. And I really am going to get up. Excuse me while I take the bone away from little Gracie dog, because I'm sure it's not pleasant. Gracie, I'm sorry, baby. It's too noisy. Come out here. Come on. You go out and chew your bone. Here, go outside. There you go. Thank you, ladies. This is the school of life here. All right. So as you're getting yourself ready, just take a few nice long breaths and start settling in. I'm going to turn on this music. Let me know if it's too loud for you. Okay, good. All right, kitty cat can join us. So start to settle in. Take a nice long breath one more time. Breathing in and relaxing, letting go of the cares of the day. And what sometimes helps is to have yourself do a yawning breath. A nice long yawny breath. Just open the mouth big and stretch. It might even get you yawning, which is just wonderful. Because that really triggers and so allow yourself to close your eyes now. And I want you to bring in your mind. What comes up when you think of an inner awe? That's right, a special inner spa just for you. You get to create whatever you love. I don't know if maybe you are on a beach with the beautiful blue ocean, seagulls overhead, or maybe somewhere in nature, somewhere that you've seen in imagination. You can be indoors in a beautiful spa with golden candlelit room, soft music, and a warm blanket. Maybe even your feet are cozy, wrapped up, or you have a cooling eye mask treatment going on, or maybe a luxurious bubble bath. The sky's the limit. It's your inner spa and your imagination. You get to create whatever you want. You can just imagine these little rose petals floating down around you, bringing in comfort and peace. Whatever it is, just indulge yourself completely. And see and hear and feel in your imagination what would feel just so great to let go inside to this inner spa. And you might notice colors. I wonder what colors might come up. Something that brings you the most soothing, calm, and peaceful feeling. Maybe it's earth tones, gentle, soft, or pink, rosy colored flowers of every hue. Maybe even the blue, the ocean, the sky, whatever color it is for you. Immerse yourself in that color, what it evokes for you. The beauty, the tenderness, the relaxation. And you find yourself breathing naturally, just gently in and out. You might even notice that your body is really starting to relax quickly. And now I want you to notice what kind of objects might be in your own inner spa. Things that bring you great joy and happiness, or put a little smile on your face. If you're on the beach, it could be a seashell. Or in nature, maybe some trees and beautiful clouds floating by. And what elements might you include in that spa, open flames flickering in candles, soft scents of oils or flowers or even beautiful art and colors. And now take one more nice long curious breath inside and direct it to wherever may be feeling stress or need tension or pain. And on the exhale, invite it to just relax, take a break, and soothe your whole being. Because now is your time to drift, to float, and enjoy relaxation just for a few minutes. It's effortless. There's nothing to do. You can just enjoy that feeling of feeling warm and safe, comfortable, quiet. Feeling good. And you might notice that your body is starting to really feel good. And now I'm going to give you a little gift in your imagination. It's an right into your hand. And this remote control has an on and off switch and a volume button. And it's so easy to use. And in fact, you already know how to use it. And what it's for is this healing frequency of light. A beautiful, soft, healing light. The color of gold with rainbow speckles. When you were a little girl, did you ever peek at the sun on the sunrise or the horizon and squint between your eyelashes, and you could almost see the rays of the sun glittering in this clear, translucent, golden light, and the rainbows were just dancing all around. And that's what this healing light is like. And it's a safe, healing light of love and grace. And I invite you to click your button to turn it on. Whatever volume you wish, you can now immerse yourself in this inner spa treatment of the golden healing light, filling your fire being tender, gentle, peaceful, and calm. Every fiber of the muscles relaxing. Every area of tension or stress letting go. And every cell of your being bathed, rested, and touched by this beautiful healing light from the Creator. Beautiful light of your own self. Just allow it to wash through you just for another moment or two, a couple of breaths. Because this light is yours, and now you own the remote control, and it will always work for you. So whenever you need this healing light in this inner spa, remember your remote control and click it on and breathe it in. And allow yourself to take a nice long breath. And you're going to start coming back. Now your spa time is complete and you have your new tool. I'm going to count us back into the room. I'm going to count backwards. 5. And when you emerge back into this beautiful evening, you'll feel so refreshed. 5. Breathing in deeply. And 4, Gently returning to your normal awareness. And 3, taking a deep breath in, starting to stretch. 2, wiggling your fingers and toes. And 1, opening your eyes and coming right back to your beautiful evening. And welcome back. Welcome back. How's everybody doing? How'd the kitty cat do? She looks so happy. That kitty was gorgeous, Trudy. Well, I promised you all a gift. Oops, I'm giving you the resources. Okay, so are you all back? Come back on camera so we can all see your beautiful faces if you like to, and that we know you're awake and you come back. So I'm going to give you this wonderful gift. Hello, welcome back. That I created. This is called Deeply Relax. In my practice, I thought, what can I give to people to really help them to feel better in the moment? Like, and you can't always get to the healer, the counselor, the therapist, the massage therapist. You can't always do that. But we almost always have 10 to 20 minutes a day, even if it's right before bed, to go inside. And these are healing journeys. And I created an audio store full of them. It's called Golden Life Audio Journeys. And this is one of my journeys. It's called Deeply Relax. There's music, there's guided meditation, and there's mindfulness, deep breathing. It's all in one package. And its companion ebook is this e-guide, Deeply Relax. So I would love for you to have these if you like. You can go to this website link, and it'll take you straight to this page of Deeply Relax. And when you pretend to buy it, you just use this coupon code, free gift. It's one word, doesn't matter capitals or not. Free gift, no space. And that will give you an email to download this audio. So I hope that it helps. I hope you enjoy it. Most people will listen to this kind of audio like every day for a period of time. And then as you get into it, whenever you need it. So it's something you can repeat over and over and have in your tool bag when you want to deeply relax. I really like doing it after work, before evening. It refreshes me, or sometimes before sleep, whenever works for you. So does everyone have the link? Eleanor, can I have you email it to them also later? I'll send it to you then. Okay, great. So that is Deeply Relax. And it's kind of like what we did, but a little different. And if you want other free resources, I have a new podcast called The Wellspring Within, where I talk about tips, tricks, and strategies to create our own energetic well-being, to create our health and just really feel good. We need to feel good in this life. There's so much going on in this world. We need to have these practices. And there's the Golden Life audio journeys. Also on YouTube, there are 10-minute mini audio journeys with beautiful videos. So check out my YouTube station at Golden Life Healing. And you're most welcome to write to me. I do work with women from all around the world, and I would love to help you with your well-being. I always have a 30-minute free consultation, so you don't have to feel like you have to pay anything to talk to me at all. So that is it for the offers. And I just thank you so much for being here. Oops, it has been such a joy. Let me see if I can come back and stop sharing. Technical difficulties, gals, 1 second. All right, please unmute yourselves, ladies, unmute. Click that mute, unmute. So how's everybody doing? Yes, I can put the link in the chat. Yeah, good job.
Thank you, Jeannie. This has been awesome.
Thank you.
So I do have a question for you. what do you say to the people who believe that self-care is selfish?
Boy, I try not to harp in our time together because I harp on about that a lot. Self-care is not selfish. How can I convince you? If you think that self-care is selfish, then you were fed a line when you were growing up. Somebody.
No, see, I don't feel that, but somebody said that to me the other day.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, not you. I don't mean you by you, Eleanor. I mean you by.
So I say that to that person? Okay.
That person. So where did you learn that? Where did you learn that self-care is selfish? Who told you that? So, it does come at us in media. It does come at us in role models. It comes at us in the workplace. It comes at us in gender inequities. It comes at us all over the place. Say again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and a lot of it comes from past generation when the roles were not the way we have today. Roles were very traditional. And so, self-care is not selfish. So I watched a friend do everything. She was a very religious woman. They had 5 children. She did, I guess we're echoing. She was the kind of homemaker that had the garden, who canned everything, who baked every meal fresh, who ironed everything, did everything herself for 5. Can you imagine? And so did she have self-care? No. Well, here's an extreme example. She ended up completely crashed. Autoimmune disease, complete depression, unable. So we really have to look at it from a health and well-being standpoint. Is self-care selfish? What's selfish about it? Is everybody else okay to have care, but not me? It's a mental construct, and it's really worth challenging. So if someone feels self-care is selfish, my first question is, where did you learn that? Or why do you think that? What do you think self-care is? Because if we can't take care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of everyone else? Have you heard that metaphor? Like, if your cup isn't full, how can you give? How many of us gave out of empty cups for years? And we know what that feels like. I'm willing to bet I'm not the only one here who knows what that feels like. And sometimes you just give because it's altruistic and you're full of love, and you're a service provider. You give and you love. But how long can you do that before you're depleted? And who says that you don't deserve that care also? What makes you less than the person you're serving? That's the second point. You really have to look and see, are we dealing with unworthiness? Are we dealing with an old construct and a paradigm of thought? That's the first places I would go, Eleanor. Does anybody want to open up and share about, I know we're 5 minutes past our time, we can go, but I'm happy to stay and answer questions or chat. It's all up to you guys, and you can know where to reach me. I'm trying to get the chat here. You know what? I have to go back into the PowerPoint. Beth, I'm going to have Eleanor send this link out to you. Okay. Is that okay? Okay. Thanks. Thanks. I'll do it tonight. Anybody want to say anything before we go?
I was so calm and relaxed. I struggled coming back, actually. I'm like, oh,
I know, I was
wait a
calm.
minute. I think I might have missed something. So Eleanor,
it was working.
Right?
Thank you for coming, everyone. It was an honor to meet you all.
Well, thank you, Jeannie, for doing this.
It's my
Really,
honor, my pleasure.
It's been great. Yeah.
I just
Thank
wish I
you.
could sit here and chat with all of you. I want to hear back
Thank
from you
you.
now.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Robin. Thanks for coming.
Okay, I will send that out after I get that from you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks for
Perfect.
having me, Eleanor. What a joy to see
Okay,
you.
thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Jeannie. I will be in touch.
Yes, we'll chat. Okay,
Oh,
bye,
we'll
everybody.
chat.
Thank you,
Okay.
Beth. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Goodbye.